Our big story, another group who's exhausted is parents. Parents who have been watching their kids and their kids' schools suffer amid rising case rates and shrinking staff levels. So our Christine Pitawanich sat down with several parents to get their thoughts on how COVID is impacting their kids.
It's been a tough year for so many, and that definitely includes parents and families. We checked in on 6 parents who have kids spanning elementary, middle, and high school, all in the Portland metro area, to get a sense of how things are going this year.
So being back in person has been very important for my kids, both from an educational standpoint, but also a mental health and social standpoint.
For my kids, it's a complete 180 from last year. I mean, it's great. There's a lot of joy.
I mean, it's going better than last year.
It's almost been more stressful than when we were in full quarantine.
Every day they came home, it was like, oh, there was 4 fights, there were 7 fights, there was 2 fights, there was this fight.
It's like we just had to learn to be flexible.
Maya von Geldern volunteers at a Northeast Portland public school and says she's seen firsthand the stress on teachers this year.
They are literally going across the hall back and forth, trying to teach their students and keep them on track, but also going over and covering for another class. I mean, I don't know what the quality is of learning, but kids are there. A lot of kids are not there.
Speaking of kids not being there, parents had a lot to say about some Portland schools closing due to a lack of staff during the Omicron surge.
We did this map, and if you look at the map of which schools are closed, it's very telling for which communities are being hit hardest.
The map shows Portland public schools and charter schools that have closed, marked with black X's, as well as those that have reopened, marked in blue, all of them on the east side of the city.
The way that the closures have happened this winter are like visibly inequitable. Imperfect though distance learning may have been, everyone was kind of relatively, I guess, in the same boat.
Online school does not work. Last year it did not work. It was a failure in so many regards. And it wasn't because teachers weren't trying. It's just that it doesn't work.
Eric Happel says school is the safest place for kids to be and agrees with the district priority of keeping kids learning in person at school.
It's good to see that they also then are committed to reopening them as quickly as possible.
Jennifer Dale has kids in Lake Oswego.
The policy here is we're not going to move to remote learning. So we've been pretty fortunate so far. It's a smaller district too.
Back in Portland, some parents wished there was more of a gradual transition to full-time in-person learning.
Kids just were not ready to be thrown together in the way that we threw them together.
When it comes to special education, the situation is compounded by a lack of educators and students who are having a tough time with in-person learning. Alicia Riddle has 2 kids who have special needs.
They're both on the autism spectrum.
She says one of her sons is gentle and nonverbal, but says some of his classmates are acting out.
Which means all of the support goes towards those students. And my son gets kind of, the short end of the stick.
And then there's the controversial letter sent from PPS's head of HR to teachers, alleging some teachers were encouraging colleagues to call in sick in order to close schools.
These are the people who are literally holding this together. And you got a slap on your hand as you're doing everything that you can to help keep your school moving forward. It really is a blatant slap in the face. It really is.
I mean, not to be dramatic about it, but how dare you?
I've seen what PPS is saying and the administration is saying, and I largely agree with what they've said on these topics. And I've largely disagreed with what we've heard from the union.
At the end of the day, parents tell us they want a spot at the table so they can help think up solutions.
Like even virtually, Zoom, something, have more like town hall kind of sessions.
Wish there was a way to be a little more creative in terms of bringing volunteers in to keep more of the schools open.
I want PPS to do something radical. I'd like to see something that's different.
Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.